much. It was a little bit of work, but that's part of it. And I think most everybody had a good time. I know I did. I didn't make a single contact, but that's okay. I was running around, and my station got used by some other people, so I'm happy about that. And anyway, I just wanted to let everybody know, thank you all, that everybody that came out had something to do with it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, John. Just for the recording, this is the Field Day Stories, Sharing Field Day Stories presentation, part of the STARS monthly meeting on July 2nd, 2022. So yeah, John mentioned that thanks for everybody that came out. We had what looks to be, I have a list and we'll get it typed up, looks to be about 38 hams. They didn't all operate, and about another 12 to 15 guests, including some scouts with some kids. So something like about 50 people. What I thought I would do is show a few different pictures. I'll show you some stats of what I believe to be the numbers. We'll show some more pictures. Then anybody that has some stories, either here at the training center, can come up by the mic and share them, or if we have people online. And just a way of recapping, originally K1LB was going to give a presentation about POTA today. He can't make it, so we shifted and went to Field Day Stories. Okay, so John, where do I find your, hold on one second. Where do I find your Telegram? Probably have to pull that down. Telegram, here we go. So John Byerly did a great job of posting a whole lot of pictures, which is cool.
I did.
You did? I think it's you. Well, we'll find out who actually did it then.
They're mine.
I was busy.
They're
running.
yours?
They're mine.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
A
thank
little
you.
moron in the corner there is me,
Okay.
Little,
the little circle.
little.
Yeah,
Little circle.
yeah, the guy standing with Jackie Chan, that's me.
Now we just got to find the Zoom thing to start the screen share. Okay, I thought they were John. They were Chuck. Okay. So Chuck, do you want to just speak loud and tell us what any of these are? I'll just go through them.
We just came up for a while because we had some medical issues with the little woman here, and just kind of took pictures of everybody running around, a lot of people making contacts, different setups, food, of course, because that's what we do. And it looked like a lot of food. We didn't stick around for the meal, but looks like you guys did really well with the food. And there's Mr. Shepard operating his little setup outside. We had a visitor that I've been trying to find. Maybe you guys know. He showed up, a guy from England.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, he shows up every year.
I may or may not have him on in a picture. I think I have him in a picture. I may or may not have him in the log.
I'd like
He lives in Reno. He's a G3. I'll see.
if you have a call sign for that guy.
When I bring up my pictures in a minute, we might have it.
Okay.
I'll just go through these and keep talking.
Yeah, he's a good guy. We were talking about all kinds of stuff, and I tried to get everybody who was operating while we were there in the photos. So,
There's Tony.
yep. I jumped up behind Tony while he was doing his thing.
Hey, who was the dude operating satellite?
That was Jim,
Jim.
KI6WJ.
That
And
was
I'm gonna,
awesome.
yeah, I'm gonna show some more pictures, but specifically, thank you. I ran into, he's a club member, I believe.
Yes.
And I ran into him over the last year, and I've been talking to him about maybe coming and doing a presentation of sorts. And so we haven't gotten there. Lo and behold, I ran into him a few days before satellite. He said before a field day, he said he could come out. I got a call the day before that he said his wife took a spill and kind of messed herself up. And sure enough, the morning of, he called, he says, I'm coming out. So we made one satellite contact on AO91. And I'll have some pictures, I have some videos. So that's really fantastic. Besides 100 points, just gravy. He's really good. So we have some cool stuff in the club for people to learn and share, and maybe we'll go out and do more satellite stuff. That was really fun.
Whenever that happens, boy, people jump up and down. When you get that contact, it's a very exciting moment.
Yeah.
Having good stuff for your youth thing.
Yeah. Is this your loop?
That's Don's.
Don Sloop, that's Don Sloop, yeah. He built that himself.
That's cool.
And then he flogged MFJ into making it.
So this is Bill and Sandy, who's a part of the club. They're here today. Thank you for coming and contributing. They offered to help cook, and it was just so good to have them. I think that's Kim in the front. Is it you, Kim?
Yes, it is.
Beautiful.
Tie-dye, red hair, it's cute.
The weather was mostly perfect.
Yeah, it was nice out
A
there.
little for the few people that came in a different camping area, but the Wash Lake State Park on Thursday, they had a tiny little rainstorm. The weather stayed good. John Byerly, tell them about the static crashes in the afternoon on Saturday that you heard across the bands.
Oh, yeah, I got a telegram message from a couple of guys operating field day over in the Sacramento Valley that said, hang on, it's coming for you. And then we were able, because everyone had their radios on, and I'm on 6 meters, and we had 20 and 40 out there, and you could actually hear the static crashes. I'd get them on 6, and then like 200 milliseconds later, you'd get it on 20 and 40. So it was like crash, crash, crash as we listened to the whole thing. But boy, it sure brought the temperature down nice.
Yeah.
It was nice.
There's Don from having a high five.
It's Dawn. I think that's the last one. Is it the last one in this group? Let's see what happens if that might be all of them here. See how this works. Yeah, I think that's the last one there.
Yeah. It was a
So
good time out there.
a lot of fun. Let me bring up some statistics. Now I gotta just find where I put these. So I pulled together, I have not submitted this yet, so they're draft, meaning they're not published. But to the best I can tell, this is what we did. So let me get to not seeing this. Why is it
You
not
gotta
seeing?
stop sharing there, Harry.
What?
You have to stop sharing your screen.
I don't understand. I'm looking for something.
I know, but you're still sharing the other Telegram.
Okay. Let's find out where these other things are. I'm not seeing this drive.
It isn't the Lumix.
No, that's my. It's a real.
Is it all the way in?
Well, that's a great question. I send you an email. Can you bring up your email here? Which email address?
Snars.
Starts with R. Okay. Somebody want to tell a quick story about field day for a minute or two while I'm working on this?
Yeah, we'll come up.
Yeah, come on up. Come up, tell a little story for a few minutes while I'm doing it. And is this Ken?
Yes.
Good. So today's presentation is today's presentation is not about just SNARS field day, but any field day. So Ken and another gentleman, Doug, we're doing one at a different location. Come on up. The audio's here somewhere. The video's here somewhere. And share away while I'm doing it.
I'm Ken, K7KBJ,
David, K7VWW.
and we also do the Northern Nevada Preppers Group that every year we apply for and get November 7th Papa, the special event call sign for our event out there. Last year, we made the mistake of going to Thomas Creek Campground. Had a lot of complaints from people camping there that we were too noisy because the radios were on. So that was a failure. So this year we went to Fort Churchill Campground and rented the, go ahead.
Can you get up a little
Louder? Okay, yeah.
Just a little bit. Thank you.
We went to Fort Churchill Campground this year. We rented the group area so nobody would bother us and we wouldn't bother them. So we had a great time. And we made 27 contacts. We hit Japan, Hawaii, Canada, all of the United States to West Virginia and California.
And again, we weren't doing the field day for the contest per se. As Northern Nevada Preppers Group, we were trying to get people involved that have not been exposed to radio. And one of the those contacts with a little boy that was just absolutely beside himself because he had made a contact to Canada.
He went into Canada.
So we did that, but our event started on Wednesday and went through Sunday, and we had a lot of we had 7 different presentations. We had one that Doug Abramson did on antennas. We had, Ken and I did one on radio for the people that came. We had one on off-grid power. We had a big barter event. We had one on fire starting skills, how to safely reload 1-pound propane cans appropriately. And we had another one on medical and first aid kits. We had a great event, but the radio was really a highlight. A lot of people, we had more people come out on the one day trip than ever before for our event. A lot of people came out, a lot of interest.
We used to go to Berlin out in eastern Nevada.
Refreshing.
Wonderful place, but a little out of the way. I think we're going to continue to do Fort Churchill because it's just a lot easier for people to come out during the day. We also had Dan Weinberg from,
Is there pictures in
he had his hats here.
DC.
Yeah.
I'm not DC.
He actually hearing WB70XP. He came out and visited with us for a while. Doug was there for 2 days. Doug Abramson was there for 2 days. And then he went over to Lahontan and they had a field day event over there. Did we miss anything? Of course, we're going to send our login so everybody we talk to will get credit for talking to us. We're going to do Winterfield Day end of January. We're going to get November 7th Papa again. So we'll be on the air for Winterfield.
And again, we'll do more than just field day. We'll do prepping to tie into it. So
Fort Churchill.
We'll be at Fort Churchill for Winterfield Day. Yeah. Yes, that's a great place. The Rangers there are great. Anybody wants to use that place, we highly recommend it.
And just to note that a little bit, the groups down here in Vegas are looking at of doing winter field day since it's so hot during the summertime. Obviously, the winter months are a lot cooler, so you might hear some participation down here from the south as well too.
So, did anybody have any questions about what we did?
How many people did you have?
We had about 25 on Saturday.
Nice.
Yeah,
And 2 stations on the air.
2. Yes, we were 2 Alpha Nevada.
I have a question.
Yeah, go
Who
ahead.
the lady was, there was somebody that made both our field
Oh,
day
yeah.
and theirs. Remember who that
I
was?
don't remember who it was. She was a ham. She was a ham, right?
Yeah.
I'm too old to remember.
Whoever it was. Yeah. Well, and towards that, both SNARS and you guys over at Northern Nevada Preppers Net and others put onto the field day locator. So the field day locator is a thing on the AWR website that says, we're having a field day, here's the information. It's so good because if people are not with the club and they're driving through or they're visiting or they don't know, they can book. So that was really good.
All blank.
Yes. Yeah, they're all blank. By all means, do that every time you're out there.
I have a question for them, Barry.
Yeah, go ahead, Howie.
Okay, for the prepper group, SNARS publishes a summer special that's geared around field day and other summer events. And I'm the editor of the SNARS newsletter. And if you guys would like to submit something, I'd be more than happy to publish it for you.
Thank you. Be happy to do it.
Howie.com.
We'll take advantage of that.
What's the deadline, Howie?
I'm looking at the end of July because I'd like to include the photo event in the summer special.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
The Sunday before the next meeting.
Well, no, normally that's the normal deadline for the monthly newsletters, but for the summer special, it's July 30th or July 31st.
Okay,
Anybody else have any questions about what we did?
thanks, Ken.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Where you go?
What, you didn't put your hand up?
Yeah.
The answer is yes, no, and Thursday.
Okay, ask away.
kind of dark over here.
I know you had an agenda, you know, what you had planned to do. Was that all accomplished?
We did everything except for message encryption and decryption in the field using a device that doesn't require any, similar to the Enigma.
And a lot of kids involved?
We didn't have as many kids as we hoped. There were maybe 4.
Yeah. You don't know.
Pumping that up for next year.
There you go. Pump them up.
Yes.
Thank
And
you.
what, Ken maybe mentioned this earlier, what were some of the other things you did not related to radio? You did some other prepping things, right?
Yeah, we did the antenna
Fine.
presentation that Doug did for us.
Oh, yeah, good,
And then we did the off-grid power
good.
barter. We had a hell of a barter event. Fire starting, how to safely reload 1-pound propane tanks,
Nice.
and medical / first aid kit demonstration.
That's a unique, a cool and a unique way of doing field day, because out of all the years I've done it, it's always been just radio, so you're adding a whole other piece to it.
Yes.
Yeah, nice.
That's why we do it for 4 days.
And tell them what the website is for NMTG and all that other stuff, if these people are interested.
We're at nnpg.net.
And I'm gonna tell you that if anybody's interested in prepping, whether it's you or a family member or what have you, nnpg.net has got a treasure trove full of information that's free,
I don't know.
including the piece de resistance. There's a 600 and something page medical book for people that don't have a doctor, and you can download it free.
Nice.
But there's just every subject. There's all kinds of information.
And they also have a net on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific time on the SNARS link system. If you're not local and you want to get on, you can go to nmpg.net and they have a Broadcastify, which is like you can hear it on the internet, and there's a chat system. Okay, thanks, Ken.
Thank you.
Thanks, Barry.
Really good. Okay, let's get to
Are those stats correct?
they're as correct as I can get based on everything I did. But let me get the screen share working.
Yeah, no, I was curious because I thought the 40 voice was much higher.
Okay, just hold on until I can get. We got a little issue with this thing not doing what it's doing. So hang on a second here. And
How many
maybe
programmers does it take?
okay. Now, let me go through this and then I'll answer the question about that. These are draft. So here's the deal. It was on the network. Some were connected to the network, some were not connected to the network. Computers. What I have found over the years, not related to our network, but sometimes N1MM gets a little squirrely. So I was able to get all the logs, to the best of my ability, in and merged. The only thing missing out of this that I know of is, I believe, one QSO made with the Go to Station with Tony W7XM. Now, in going through these yesterday, I realized that there were no CW. So I got on the phone and called Derek, who did CW, and we walked through what we believe were the CW ones. So I didn't take all of them to all those 40 meters. I think the ones that we figured. So that's where we're currently at now. Just one other thing, and then let me go through this and then we'll talk, Peter. So what we see here is a bunch on 80 meters, Zach KK4 something or other, who's now in Reno, got on late at night and did those. The CWs would have been from Derek. The 40 meter sideband would have been primarily, I think, from Peter. The FT4 and FT8s would have been from Jim W6US. The 6 meters, I think, were from N7ROJ, and the 1 2 meter one is the bird from KI6WJ. This is what, okay, so one other thing is the computer figures out this. So the sideband and FM contact, the phone contacts are with 1 point, the CW and the data contacts are with 2 points, And then you take the total number of points and then multiply it by 2 because it's low power, being 100 watts. So that's how they get 1412, assuming this is all, we got everything right. Then on the bonus points, we had 100 points per transmitter. And we have 7 transmitters because we're 7A. The media, as far as I know, we got nothing. And the reason why is I submitted it, but we didn't hear back. And so there's a new rule this year that you actually have to submit to the ARRL what they publish. It's a new little rule. And I sent it to the RGJ, and I don't know if they ever published it. We got 100 points for the public place being Washoe Lake State Park, 100 points for the info center that Tony did a great job. That was at Blue Booth. We got 100 points for the field day message. So I had printed out a list of the frequencies, and Friday night, I think before dinner, before pizza came, I got together with Derek and we got on his radio and we found it, and I handwrote it. So we got 100 points for that. We'll send it in. The 100 points for the satellite completed. That was AO91. Thanks to Jim, KI6WJ. I'll show you some pictures and some videos of that. Natural power, we got, we ran actually more than 5 QSOs on natural power. Nikki had solar, so we got that. And then I didn't put any bonus points here for GOTA yet. I think we only worked, Tony, is that right? We just worked out 1 on GOTA, as far as you know?
Correct. We just got the 1.
Okay, so we'll get something, at least we'll get a cue. It might not be enough.
Yes, Gary, what's GOTA?
GOTA is get on the air. So we didn't really do a concerted effort this year. It's for either new hams or hams that are generally inactive. The idea is that it can be an additional station with a different call sign. In this case, we use a W7XM. It's still 7A Nevada. And the idea is that if you have a GOTA station and a GOTA coach, you're working with newbies or people that are inactive, and you're helping them get educated, come on the air, and it's additional to some additional points. So that's what GOTA is. We didn't do a concerted effort this year. Then I believe we get 50 points for submitting it through the Field Day app. We got 100 points for the safety officer, which you'll see who that is in a minute with the yellow hat. And we should get 100 points for the social media bonus. I posted it on what's the name, Chuck? What's the name of that Nevada Facebook group?
Sierra Nevada Amateurs.
No, not that one, but the general one. There's
The
a general,
Northern Nevada Amateur Radio, whatever.
whatever,
Facebook page.
Facebook.
There's
Yeah.
one out of Vegas.
So I put something on there, and then somebody put something on there. So now that's a social media piece. And then, so all that, if it's all accurate, would be 1,415 bonus points. So you add it to the 412 score. If that's accurate, we get 2462. It's not a contest, but it's very contest-like. We submit with them some documentation on this, and you submit, it's the goofiest thing. You don't submit the log, although we do. You just have to submit a dupe sheet. One time I didn't submit the dupe sheet on another event, and they said, well, you didn't submit anything, so you don't get any of the scores. So I learned my lesson. So that's where we're at, and we would be 7A Nevada. Now, having said that, you had some questions, Peter, so help me with this because these are rough balls.
Well, yeah, I'm looking at the 40-meter voice. You got it down as 142 QSOs. And just before I turned the radio off, we were at 324
QSOs?
QSOs.
Okay, so I found when I went out, when I grabbed all the computers,
Yeah.
and I looked at them, 2 things. Number one is each computer had slightly different numbers, okay? But then I merged them all together, so that's the aggregate. I did have a funny thing, and I don't understand this. On one of them, well, I exported all the ADIF files, and one of them, you get a little, I can go back and look at it, you get a little summary.
Yep.
And I pressed rescore, and the number came down. I don't know why. So I'll go back and look at that. I may call you and see if we can sort that out.
Because I was at 200 and you took over for 3 more hours and you were yakking away with the East Coast.
Yeah, I was up. Yeah, I was up from about 10:30 until about 2:30. So one of the things I learned out of this that would help in the future is there's an operator option. This is who the operator is. When I looked at the logs later, I knew which one yours was on because you were the operator,
Yeah.
which was fine. I really don't care who the operator is. I was trying to figure out which computer. Then there was one, Jim's W6US. I knew who he is, the operator. The ones from Nick, Nicky, he had it on his, I guess, his computer, and the format was he had the wrong context. So he had about 20 or so. I just retyped and gave him the right one. So I knew his. Okay. John's, I don't think we logged any on your computer. Dave, each of you, I could tell kind of which one his was, but I couldn't, there was a little goofy. So one thing I learned out of this in retrospect is if we put either the person or the name of the computer, SNARS 2345, on there, we can at least find them later. The idea of the, yeah, go ahead, John. Yeah, I just
Finish your thought.
the idea of a network. First of all, not everybody was on the network. Wes wasn't able to get on, and Nicky, okay? So that was probably an RF Wi-Fi. But over the years, I have found at times, N1MM is goofy and doesn't get everything. There's some issues. And, you know, as I remember, there might have been some problems in your computer too. Anyway, go ahead, John, please.
Anyway, one of the things that in the lessons learned, I sent to the board an email that was a lessons learned thing, because I got thrust kicking and screaming into making the N1MM and the network work. We learned some lessons about N1MM, and one of the things that we're going to do is the very last night before field day setup, you download the latest update to N1MM. And what we're going to do next year is we're going to go to a common location. I don't care where it is. We're going to set up the router, all the club computers. And if your computer is going to be on the network at field day, if you're going to use your PC, you're bringing it and it's all going to work before we head to the park, or you're going to use a club machine. Because it got to a point, and honestly, I'll be honest, I gave up on Wes's computer. I don't know what was wrong with it. It would transmit N1MM, but it wouldn't receive.
Yeah.
So we all saw him transmitting, not receiving. He saw himself receiving, but not transmitting. And you get to a point where you don't want to mess with someone's personal computer. So what we're going to do next time, and we're going to make it kind of a hard and fast rule. If you're using your own machine, you're bringing it to the setup location. We'll we'll do everyone's Windows update. We'll make sure that N1MM actually works. And if it doesn't, you don't get to use your machine. You use one of the club ones.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. As an add-on to that, what I realized when I was working on the logs, I think my guess is, Jim, you had your cat talking to the computer, so he probably logged the actual frequency. But I'm guessing that none of the other ones had the cat control. So, you know, maybe yours was.
Mine was, Jim's was,
Oh, no,
and Nikki's was, but he was in the wrong contest.
So what happened is that would be another little piece ideally to do. So when I went back and pulled the logs together, where I found a couple discrepancies was Derek's computer, his wasn't cat controlled. So
Cable, and I just.
yeah, we didn't have it on there. So when I went back to figure out which of those were his and CW, because none of them were in CW. Somebody didn't put, they don't put it in the right mode. So these are little things that I think, I was thinking about your comment about Thursday. We might even want to do something even earlier to be sure people know what's going on. There's just there's a lot of networks and computer related stuff to be done. That's what it is.
But I think that that's a good thing, that maybe we actually get someone who's a good instructor that has, now slogged through M1MM to do maybe hey, if you're interested, maybe one of the ham radio nights, we do a breakout room and it's just N1MM.
I think that's a great idea, because
then, hey, if you want to come to field day and you want to operate, how about you spend an hour with us?
I think that's great, because it turns out this year, Well, actually, it would be every year because it's always the fourth weekend.
Mhm.
And the Monday, the ham radio night is the Monday before field day.
Mhm.
So that's actually, we did one this time, but that would be good. Maybe spend out of the 2 hours, spend an hour in N1MM and an hour in other things. That's pretty good.
Because a lot of us, myself included, spent a lot of time learning M1MM and how its intricacies while we were at field day.
Yeah, that's good.
Because quite frankly, I refuse to run the damn thing if we're logging at home.
Okay, any questions before I show some more pictures? Any questions or thoughts about the stats or anything? Okay,
If N1MM is giving us so much trouble, does it make sense to maybe investigate something else?
not really. Yeah, there's not a lot of choice. It's not it's mostly not N1MM, it's N1MM with the network. And I've been in other events where I've been in an event where we have two computers in the same physical room, 8 feet apart. They're networked. They're even networked through a cable. And I still sometimes have some issues. So I don't know. That's why.
Well, and Jim has a pretty good dialogue going with the developer. And apparently some of the problems that that we ran into, he's already contacted the developer about, and they're going to make some changes. And one of the biggest things is he asked for some specific information about how N1MM works, and they gave him sort of a bad answer. I mean, it wasn't a great answer.
Basically, I've been in contact with him on this, and the problem was when because I took all the computers out to Winnemucca, where I had no other networks to worry about trying to get in. And fired them up and got everything working together, and they were talking to each other, everything working fine out there. And what happened in the process is it hard coded those IP addresses. When we got back to the other side, we had other computers in. I went to DHIC and proceeded to assign new IP numbers to things. And since it had been hard coded and all that, it wouldn't auto configure. And that was the problem. Tom doesn't see this problem up there with on the hill with the W7RN station, because the same computers are always there. There's no outside computers getting involved in that. And it works flawlessly for them up there. So yeah, it does work. It's just a matter of getting things squared away. Having John's idea of being there a few days ahead of time, whatever, getting everything's on, running together, really will help.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, go ahead, Bob. I'm just showing pictures while we're talking.
Make a statement that I think that's not only a fantastic idea. I would say that it should be a requirement. If you're going to be operating, you must have it so that you don't introduce problems. So
Yeah.
I would say that would be a hard and fast rule for the W7TA club station will be operated in this mode by the field day coordinator, saying that's it. We're there as a club, you're there as a club operating, and you have to have some, you gotta have rules and regulations, guys. So I'm behind 100%. Get the stuff out there and make sure it works. And if you can't do it with yours, then use the clubs. Oh, we don't have a Windows upgrade.
We actually,
Back to ground zero.
John Miller did a great thing for me because I was busy as a one-arm wallpaper hanger that week before field day. He grabbed all the computers, he did the Windows updates, had them all set to go. All I literally had to do was set the station up on my kitchen table with the router and all of the computers and do N1MM.
Well,
And in Jim's defense, when I did that with no extra computers, every one of them saw each other because I tested it. Which is why I was so angry when we got to the park and it didn't work.
So you can postpone Windows updates
You can't.
for like 90
90 days. or
You
something.
should, but you can't.
Well, question mark.
Oh, Windows can bypass you real quick.
Yeah.
I have a Windows 11 computer that I clicked no like 30 times, and I didn't want Windows 11, and then it still gave me the damn thing.
That's a great idea. Here's some pictures I've been showing. I just want to point to a few people. On the right is John Miller here. And on the left is Clifford. I don't know what it's called. Do you remember, tall guy? He would help out a lot. Anyway, the two gentlemen in the middle, the one on the right with the kind of cool hat is from DX Engineering. He had, and his friend to the left. And they came out and they'd never met John. So we met each other, and they brought some DX Engineering hats that we're doing something cool with.
I'm taking it home.
So here's a picture of our CW op, Derek, and the fellow to the right. Fellow to the right is Zach. He's the K4 fellow. He lives in Northwest Reno, and he was really getting on. And later in the day, he was, or the night, he got in 75 meters. He brought over a ICOM 756 Pro 3, and he went onto your antenna, your 80 or L, and operated a bunch of guys until I gave up at about 2:20 in the morning. I think he went till about 4:30. And on the, let's see, it's Wes on the left. That's Mike and his wife Sharon on the right. They came out just to visit. I think they're club members. And that's that Peter, is that your 40
Yeah,
meter?
that's my tower.
That's your, is that a 40 meter antenna, or you just
That
on
was a
40?
40-meter dipole with traps for 75.
Yeah. This is Dan Cam 6CQ. He lives in Washoe Valley. He came over, I guess he got off at 1 o'clock or so. So he came over for a while to operate. And I think this is your 7,300 that you did on 6 meters.
6 meters, yeah.
John Byerly. Was this Dave's antenna? Dave, is this your antenna? Is this your antenna?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. And a 10 or 2 out there. At night I noticed the gnats came out. They're kind of a little buggy bitey. You know, this area is fantastic. There's tons of tables there, and it's a beautiful area for operating. So who's this person here to the left of Dave Miles? This young lady. You know her? You're Aaron.
Oh, yeah, that's one of my employees over at the shop. Aaron, he came to work for us here about 3 months ago and is absolutely interested in ham radio. So we'll see how that progresses, and maybe she'll come to her senses and not do it, but probably she will. So.
So this is Nikki, who happens to be a fire inspector. So that's funny. He lit the barbecue.
Well, of course he did.
This is on Sunday. I believe this is Tom KJ7TKR. On Sunday, he came by. John Miller. I don't know who this guy is. K6ST and a mic somewhere.
He's trouble.
Nikki, and that's Lance behind him. Coffee in the morning.
Barry, I'll be back in a minute.
Okay, this is our safety officer, John Miller, to keep everything going safe. They added a safety officer some number of years ago, which is great. And I think that might be the last picture. I want to go to the front to go back to the KI6WJ information about the satellite. So he brought an ICOM 9700.
There it was.
So you know what I got to do? Let me stop this and I can get the audio going, and you can hear it. Okay. See if this is going. Let's see. Huh. Might not have audio. So it says 9700 in there, which is 2 meters, 440 and 1.2, and it tracks all the satellite stuff. He also has hang on a sec. He made a little shady area, which is kind of cool. He had a little bioano or a little battery there. Jim, KI6WJ. Here's his antenna. He uses a arrow on a tripod, and he manually aims it. At home, he has some beams on a auto everything. He doesn't have to press anything. He brought some solar panels. He's out there about an hour. I have one other interesting picture for you here. See where it is. I think that's it. He had a little satellite controller in there. And he gets the data from the internet and it talks to the satellite controller. And then it does a little magic. For some reason, I'm not getting audio here. Anyway, he tried several birds. He ended up on AO91 and we did that. We'll get these posted on the website. We have a little more stats and I think we might be done with our meeting here. Let's find out one more place to look. Where's your email, John? Right here. Okay, so this one's kind of cool. So let me get this going here. And share. Okay, so this is, it's kind of hard to read, but I'll show you another one in a minute. This is there's no mults really because there's no multiplication, but these are the different modes and bands and sections. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have a diagram, a better one to show you. And that is, here's a list of all the different sections and the frequencies based on what we have here. So AB is Canada for Alberta, Alaska, Alabama, so on and so forth. So we worked a lot of guys across the way there. So that's basically a big piece to the puzzle. Thanks for everybody that helped. We had a lot of planning help. We had a lot of help there. All the people that bring the gear in, that bring out the food, the lifting. People brought ice. It was really good. Who else has thoughts about this before we end this portion of the presentation? Any questions, thoughts, comments? Howie, did you operate at your location for field?
Yes, we did. Ken and I, Ken is my son, KB2 SFS. He and I operated CW and we made 422 contacts. Ken was only part-time because his wife was very pregnant. She gave birth 2 days after field day. And so he was kind of on edge with it, but we had a good time and we networked N1MM and that all worked out very well. We had no problems. Band conditions weren't super. They were better Saturday than they were Sunday, I think. And I don't know how I can, Barry, can I share a couple of photos or not?
Yeah, let me just turn this on so you can do it. Yeah, go ahead and share your screen.
Now, how okay.
It's a green share screen or screen share.
Yeah, I got the thing here, and I guess gotta get the pictures up.
Okay. That'd be great.
Can everybody see that picture or not?
You have to click the green button on Zoom.
Okay, hang on a second. Green button on Zoom, and now where do I go from here? I guess
top left desktop.
Right. I don't see how to get the pictures up.
So are you in the Zoom screen where you have a?
Yeah, I'm looking at the Zoom screen right now.
Do you see the green share screen button?
Yes, I saw the green share screen.
Yeah, click that.
Okay.
And after you click that on the top left, it says, it's the bigger, it says desktop
It says screen,
screen. Yeah,
okay?
look at that.
I'm clicking
There
that.
you go. Now you're coming up.
Okay,
Okay, now we can see your desktop. Go ahead.
okay, can you see that picture?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, that's Ken and me together. That's Ken is in the foreground. I'm in the background there, and the dog is on my lap. That's Bandit. And let me see if I can get one other picture here.
Somebody want to know if your dog knows Morse code, Howard.
Well, hang on a second. Hang on a second.
Oh, we've got the left foot. Cool.
Let's see. How do I get the next picture?
Page down on your keyboard.
Page down.
Press the page down button.
I can't even see the damn keyboard here. Hang on a second. I got to turn on a light.
Got a good laugh out of the crowd here.
Let's see. You have to understand, I'm basically a computer idiot. Okay, I pressed page down, but it didn't change anything.
Try right arrow or down arrow. Unless this, there we go.
Okay, there's Bandit getting ready to copy CW.
Oh, that's Bandit copying CW.
Yeah. So that's the end of my, anyway, we made 422 contacts for 1,688 score. Plus we copied the W1AW message on CW and we submitted electronically. So that's our deal.
Nice.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay, anybody else on Zoom that has some comments, questions, stories?
How do I get out of here, Barry?
Click the side on the top. There's a little banner. It says.
Hold down the power key for 5 seconds.
You guys got to do more than that to shut me up.
More than that. Yeah.
Whatever. Somebody else can take over.
Okay, very good. Well, this complete, we'll get 2 things. We'll get these scores sorted out. We'll get them on into the special newsletter. Howie, give me your email address again.
You can just do my call at awrl.net, Barry.
Okay, and that's what's it called?
WB2AWQ@awrl.net.
Okay, perfect. Okay, this completes the recording and the presentation part of the SNARS monthly meeting, July 2nd, 2022.